Welcome to Strawberry Ink., the podcast where we explore the darkest chapters of true crime history. Today, we delve into the horrifying story of one of the most notorious serial killers in American history, John Wayne Gacy, known as the Killer Clown. Gacy's twisted double life built on deception and horror. He also shocked the world. His story serves as a chilling reminder that evil can lurk behind the most ordinary masks. I am happy to be discussing this case, as lately I have not had a crime case as infamous on my docket. I would also like to mention that people in my society have been so mean, so don't be surprised if I talk trash about some people in my next episodes, as they deserve it. I plan to discuss more cases in future episodes, such as crimes in universities. Born on March 17, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, Gacy's early life was filled with abuse and neglect. His father, an alcoholic, physically and emotionally abused him, shaping the man Gacy would become. But it was not only his childhood that would leave a lasting mark on him. His crimes would eventually lead to death row, before Gacey would be known for his gruesome attacks. His criminal history was already marred by another dark chapter. In 1968, Gacey was convicted of sexually assaulting teenage boys. At the time, his criminal activity was hidden beneath a mask of normalcy. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison for the crimes, with a bargain. But in a shocking turn of events, Gacey served only 18 months before being released for good behavior. He was not a convicted felon, as he had pleaded no contest and not guilty. The justice system failed him, and Gacey was set free only to continue his indecent darkness. Upon his release, he would begin a new life, but the horrors he would soon commit were already taking a root. He rebuilt his life in the suburbs of Chicago, even becoming a respected member of his community. But behind closed doors, his truth of nature began to reveal itself. It wasn't long before Gacey began luring young boys into his home. He promised them work, drugs, and alcohol, unsuspecting young men who believed they found a safe space. Instead, they would fall into being victims of Gacey's unthinkable perversity. Gacey's technique was sinister. He would tie his victims up, assault them, and then strangle them with a rope, killing them. This method of murder became his signature, and Gacey would use his own home as the set-in for his sickening acts. The crawl space under his house became a burial ground, a dark, hidden grave where at least 29 of his victims were found. In December 1978, the world would learn the horrifying truth about John Wayne Gacy. 15-year-old Robert Peast had gone missing after meeting Gacey to discuss a job opportunity. It was the last lead investigators needed. As the investigation unfolded, the suspicions pointed directly at Gacey. Authorities searched Gacey's homes, and what they uncovered was beyond belief. In the crawl space beneath his house, they discovered the remains of multiple victims. In total, Gacey would be linked to 33 murders, though there could have been more. The grotesque discovery made it clear that Gacey was not the man he had pretended to be. He was arrested on December 21st, 1978. His mask finally shattered. The search was conducted after his last victim managed to escape the home. Gacey was processed at the Chicago Police Department's Area 3 station and held at the Cook County Jail without bail or bond as he awaited trial. His case would soon become a media sensation, and Gacey's behavior behind bars was both chilling and bizarre. He tried to paint himself as a victim, claiming he was mentally ill, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. Gacey's trial began in 1980, and despite his attempts to use an insanity defense, the evidence was irrefutable. The bodies, the confessions, and the testimony from law enforcement painted a clear picture of a man who had used his charm and manipulation to lure his victims to their deaths. The trial would not only expose his crimes, but reveal the extent to which he had fooled the public. John Wayne Gacy was convicted of 33 murders and sentenced to death by lethal injection. This death sentence was imposed initially by a 12-person jury. He was transferred to the Menard Correctional Center in Illinois, where he would spend the next 14 years awaiting execution. On death row, Gacey's behavior remained strange and unsettling. He tried to maintain control, claiming he found religion and even attempting to profit off his infamy by creating artwork. The judge who confirmed this death sentence was James Randall of Cook County, Chicago's courthouse. Gacey's final years were marked by a sense of defiance. He refused to show remorse for his state crimes and instead continued to manipulate those around him. But time was running out. On May 10, 1994, he was executed at the Stateville Correctional Execution. He got an early execution with a lethal injection. His last words were, "Excuse my language, I've got to warn you that I'll be using foul language. I am giving you this warning because I don't want to be like you lousy white trash in public that I see, cussing at me, at others in public randomly and being nasty. Shame on you, white trash brats. I'm sorry for being that mean, that is how I feel about them." Anyways, back to the episode. His last words were, "Kiss my ass." Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Strawberry Ink. Please follow this podcast and like the episode and share it to your loved ones. Till next time, goodbye.